Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next edition of See What the Cards Have to Tell Us. I'm Eric Stearns, your host, and kind of fading in and out. I don't know. I guess these virtual backgrounds have a little bit of a problem adjusting to my movements and all that stuff. So I'll try to stay very still as possible. Seems like that's what the times are calling for. Anyways, that and I kind of look like, here it is. I got a vivid background here, and I look like I'm coming through a veil. One of these days I'll get it right. Who knows? We'll see. But anyways, just wanted to welcome you again. My name is Eric Stearns, and I am your host for this week's reading. And of course, I have been an intuitive pretty much all my life, professionally practicing now for over 20 years, and both in remote viewing as well as doing energy work, tarot readings, and so forth and so on. So anyways, and I'll have my contact information. If you wish to book an appointment, you can do so on Facebook.com. I'll also have my emails here. And of course, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. For some reason, I don't know what the deal is. Just a little bit of administrivia. Something that was brought to my attention is that the comments are turned off, and I'm trying to turn them back on. But of course, it's being a total, pain in the butt to do it. So I don't know. One of big tech's shenanigans and all that stuff. Reason why it won't work for them. Anyways, so without further ado, let's kind of get started. This one is kind of a very strange week as far as that's concerned, because of the fact that we've got a lot of stuff going on that is, well, and of course I did not change my screen. What do you know? Okay, so give me just 1 second and go over here, and this is live recording, people. Share screen. Amazon Music, no. No. Okay, how do I get out of this? Get out of that. All right, go to here. All righty. There we go. There's my cards that I need. Ta-da, ta-da. And go back over to here. And hello. Oh, Zoom. All right, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen here. There we go. All right, there's my cards. All right, so we have, first of all, this is kind of telling us that we are really in intense times, and we're really entering into a new phase as far as being as far as being really intensified. Things are really coming into an intense view. And of course, I asked the standard question: what do we need to know about navigating through the present time, right? So here it is. We are entering into the East, which is the Fool. This is kind of coming up for us. What this is saying is that we're entering into uncharted territory. A lot of us knew that this was coming. However, it's one thing to kind of prepare, it's another thing to experience it, and this is what we're coming into, is that we're really stepping into a new situation, a new a new conflict is a word. That's kind of what I'm getting as well. And so therefore, we're kind of, even though we prepared for it, we're still neophytes. We've, as I've said before, we've kind of gone through the ground school, but now we are going through now we're actually climbing into the flight deck and really going after it. And not only that, what's being thrown at us is basically, with all the quote flare, the second wave, and so forth and so on, we're being thrown into new dynamics by, let's just say, the powers that be, and therefore we're kind of having to kind of reorient ourselves and stuff like that. And so therefore we're kind of having to do a little bit of releasing and letting go of previous assumptions in order to figure out what in the world is going on here. So activation comes in on the south. That is reversed because of the fact that right now we are, what this is saying is that what should have nurtured us, in other words, getting active, in other words, getting, um, you know, going on red alert, mounting up and so forth and so on. We failed to do that. We have failed to heed the starting gun, and now it's really a race to basically move into, in order to take action. The more, what this is saying is that the more we wait, the more our community suffers, and therefore we suffer. And at the same time, this um, also, surrenders our power and basically is a detriment to our activation, because of the fact that we have not responded, we have not stood up and really asked the questions and really demanded answers as far as, okay, this makes no sense. What in the hell is going on here? So forth and so on. There's still too many of us that are basically kind of rolling over and taking it like sheep. And it's making those such as myself and the viewers of this video and others, um, basically this is saying, look, the inertia is still too great, and it's because of the fact that we don't have enough people pushing and standing up and saying, nope, I'm not going to do this, this doesn't make sense, I'm not going to buy what certain people are telling me, because of the fact that things just do not just don't have any sense whatsoever, and therefore I'm not going to surrender my rights. Now, the solar logos on the West, it also comes in upside down, is because of the fact that our greatest advantage is right now is being jeopardized. And therefore the unity that comes from the solar logos, the enlightenment that comes from the solar logos, is being basically veiled. I don't know about you, but just before I started this video, I got multiple text messages, multiple emails, so forth and so on, calls on all my numbers, and they're saying, oh, well, stay at home, don't go out and celebrate the 4th. And it's like, well, gee, I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. But, it's just like, really? Does this happen? Does this need to happen? And so therefore what's happening is that our right to celebration, our right to be human, to be celebrated as human, is being taken away. And this is something that we really need to hold on to. This is what we're being warned about on the West, because of the fact that right now, other people's prayers, other people that we don't want their prayers to be answered, are being answered. Okay. And so therefore, basically what's happening is that we're being treated like fools. Our activation is being shut down. Our unity is being shut down. Our enlightenment is being shut down, so forth and so on. And we really need to step up. The wisdom that is being offered here is the Elementor of Feathers. And this is basically, we've seen this card before. This is basically saying, look, we have the strength to weather this, but we have to be the tree that stands strong in the wind, and being able to flow through the wind, being able to let the wind flow through us, so that way our power is not taken, our wisdom is not taken, so forth and so on. You kind of get where I'm going with this. Now, there's a little bit of a positive aspect to this, saying that if we do wake up, then the justice card comes in, and therefore what happens is that therefore what happens is that the tables get turned, the balance gets refound as far as all that's going on. Because right now, the tables are being basically flipped, and they're not just basically tipped in one direction, they're being flipped in another direction. But what this is saying is that if we heed the warnings here, that justice will prevail on our side. However, we have to fight, we have to ask for it, we have to demand it and command it. That's another thing. Again, that stands on what? Our own power, right? Now, the Tower card is very interesting because of the fact that I saw this come up in Father Sky, and I'm like going, wait a minute, what's going on here? We have, we have justice on one hand, but we have the Tower upside down on the other. But what this is saying is that for the powers that be, the tower, they are the ones experiencing the tower. However, the perception right now is that we are experiencing experiencing the collapse of old things, old systems, old uh, you know, old architectures, old paradigms, so forth and so on. But look in the tower here. Okay, see the person standing inside the pyramid amongst the fire, amongst the stones falling, but yet outside you see the stars that are peeking through. What this is saying is that basically that there are some things that we need to let go of. There are some things that need to be basically released and so forth and so on. And even though it looks like everything's falling apart, there is a new paradigm that is being gifted to us, but we need to accept that. And that's why it comes in up on the upside down. Also, at the same time, this is saying that we need to internalize this. We need to make it a part of ourselves. Okay, so the Five of Shells release, again, talking about the release, talking about the release of the old control matrices, the old paradigms, the old astrologers call this the old patriarchy, of command and control, and you will do this, and so forth and so on. This is basically what this is all about. Right now, this time is about basically getting off our butts, going through this new situation, reclaiming our unity, reclaiming our light, as it were, our power, I would say, and basically moving through this situation, because this is what this is all about. We're releasing part of ourselves. We're releasing that which controls us. We're being called to release that of where we are letting our power get zapped. Again, the activation, and then of course the elementary feathers on the north-south axis is talking about our path. We have to basically release our disempowerment in order to basically activate ourselves and be that tree in the wind that stands and says, "Yeah, this is nothing. I can flow with it. I can move with it," so forth and so on. And what happens is that ultimately, by releasing these old power systems and old ways of thinking and old ways of letting people think for us, that's a big thing right now, is that that justice will prevail, and that the old systems will be permitted to fall big time. Okay, so that's the first spread. That's the fifth row. So looking at the shamanic deck here, we see that the vision quest comes in at the east. This is no coincidence here, obviously, because of the fact that we are basically seeking a new vision. We're seeking a new vision out that basically prevents this situation from happening. And so what happens is that we are basically being asked to go within, to pay attention to our intuition, pay attention to our guidance, pay attention to the messages that are coming to us, not from the mainstream terrifying, screeched hard media, as I call it, and basically looking at, oh, gee, this is a symptom of what we really need to do. Okay. Wisdom is something that is supporting us. Being able to question, these ridiculous rules and guidelines that are coming down the pipeline, and say, wait a minute, why do we need to do this? Why do we need to obey by all these rules when really there's other scientific evidence, more common sense that says, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. We don't need to do this. This is entirely preposterous, basically. The tree of life is conception. Again, this relates to the vision quest. What are we really willing to conceive, to conceive and bring into being for ourselves? That's also what the solar logos comes in. in the West is because of the fact that really we need to conceive and activate a better future for ourselves, and that therefore standing up for ourselves, sharing the information that really counts, sharing the positives in the face of the negatives and all that, because of the fact that what's happening here is that again we're conceiving you know, a new world for ourselves. But what is that new world going to look like? Is it going to look like, you know, something that's dystopic, or is this going to look like something that really we've been, you know, fantasizing about for years and decades, you know, for many of us, right? Okay, so water is expression. Now this comes up in the north because of the fact that, again, this is basically our clarion call, as it were, to express ourselves, express who we are, express what we need and what we deserve and what we will get. Okay, but if we're not willing to do this, then basically what happens is that, well, we're kind of screwed. But the wisdom card, or the expression card, comes up in the north because of the fact that what this is saying is that if we focus on the positive expression, if we focus on our unity, focus on our faith in ourselves and whatever higher power that, or greater power that you might believe in, so forth and so on, that we will come to a greater expansion and greater awareness, and therefore a greater expression. Offerings comes in on the Mother Earth side. Wealth. This is basically reminding us that there is no scarcity. If any scarcity is out there, it is manufactured, and we need to basically call that out and say, no, this is not necessarily the case. This is what's going on, and we're not going to stand for it anymore. What happens is the medicine wheel finally comes up in Father Sky as completion. Basically, it comes in at the upper right hand side, or the Father. Excuse me. I'm trying to race here because my voice is about to give out. But the medicine wheel is basically coming up upright for the first time in all these spreads. And basically, what this is saying is that the continuation is going to be something that is positive and powerful, but we must take the reins in order to do it. Okay, so the people. What does the people stand for? Well, it's in the seventh direction. How do we relate to this whole thing? Well, the people is very interesting because of the fact that this, again, talks about community. All right. This talks about basically who we are, coming into our own existence, coming into our own power, and coming into coming into a better understanding of who we are and acting upon that understanding. What this is talking about is sustenance. Now, what this is also saying is that right now we are coming from a place of fear that we are not being sustained. We are not being, that we're not being held, as it were, in a greater sense. But the fact of the matter is that what this is saying is that really the sustaining originates from within, okay, and we don't resist that. We will prevail. We will sustain. We will basically, come into this in a greater light and a greater awareness and all that stuff. But right now, what this is saying is that right now the way that we are continuing is not sustainable. And I hate to use that word because it's been hijacked by so many other entities out there, as it were. And basically what this is saying is that in order to continue, in order to basically have that freedom of expression and have that freedom of vision activation and being able to conceive what it is that's being offered, and being able to bring that to ourselves as well as the people, we have to realize that there are certain things that cannot be sustained, and letting those go, both within ourselves and amongst each other, and seek that new vision and seek that new expression, because the wisdom, okay, of the ancestors is really, in a sense, wanting to come back. That's why the wisdom comes back in the South card, because of the fact that this is really the definition card of who we are trying to become, and that we're moving towards. Now, the offerings, the wealth, and then the continuation. Again, this is dependent on us releasing and not sustaining the Bravo Sierra that is basically being thrown at us time and time again, almost on a daily and hourly basis, so forth and so on. So that's basically what the shamanic deck has to say. So this is again a really good coaching call, but it's calling us out, saying, hey, we got some stuff that we need to take care of here. All right, now the wild boar comes in upside down on the east, because of the fact that we are seeking new knowledge, new wisdom, new ways of thinking. And really this comes in upside down is because of the fact that we are seeking new wisdom, but the wisdom that we're seeking really comes from within. It is innate. It is being of being of the being of the seeker, being of the one who is willing to be tenacious and say, really, what does this stand for me? What does this stand for us? Now, the possum is very interesting because of the fact that really what supports us is being on the, basically that of distraction. Now, this came up very interestingly because I asked about this. I'm like, did I pull the right card? And the answer that I got was yes. Okay. The possum basically says, look, we can't roll over and play dead, at least not forever. But however, we can pull the illusion on them. We can basically say, oh, yeah, we'll kind of go along with it. But, at the same time, there's a gift from the younger generations called microaggression. Now, I would not have thought in a million years that I would say that. However, it's not necessarily microaggressions. What it is micro subterfuge. Okay, I'll let that sink in with you for a little bit. Micro subterfuge. In other words, doing little things to kind of go against the system. I'm kind of going along with it, but not completely. I'm doing little things here and there to sabotage, these orders and question what's going on and so forth and so on. Starting with the small stuff, and then working towards the greater revolution. Because right now, what's got us pinned, as it were, is our reaction. Okay, we are reacting. We're going, oh, what's going on? Da da da. This isn't right. Da da. So forth and so on. And they're expecting that, but what they're not expecting is the small stuff, which will add up to the greater stuff and be more effective. That's why possum comes up in the South, because of the fact that this is what supports us greatly. Okay. Turtle comes in upside down because of the fact that what this represents is purification, going within, going back to what really matters and really what nurtures us. Okay. It comes in upside down is because of the fact that we're being reminded to do this right now. We're even though we're being told to stay at home, we're all our celebrations are canceled, so forth and so on. They can cancel all these external stuff, but they can't cancel the internal stuff. So what this is saying is that go within, go with the purity, clean house, as it were. The sweat lodge, for instance, is known as kind of the turtle ceremony because of the fact that turtle represents going back to Mother Earth, going back to the womb, and going back and cleansing and rebirthing and so forth and so on. So when the turtle comes in the West, basically this is saying that this is our prayer and this is our greatest advantage, and to do so within. Right now, what this is also saying is that we got to get our internal house basically cleaned out and purified and released before we can actually make change. But we've got to do this right now. Okay. The north is the dolphin, which is basically talking about life in general. Um, you know, the dolphin is a celebrator of life. The dolphin is someone who is playful, so forth and so on. And really, what we are seeking, the wisdom that we're seeking by purifying ourselves and going to the north for the wisdom, is basically seeking that of what really, sorry about that, giving us giving us basically life again. And this is saying that really what's counting here, what the wisdom is being offered, is nurturing of the life within in order to nurture and nourish the life without. Make sense? Okay, cool. All right, now the prophecy cards, the open medicine shield comes in on the upside down. Now, this is interesting because of the fact that I saw this, I'm like going, wait a minute, what's going on here? Well, the open medicine shield is basically saying, what do we want to create for ourselves? What do we want to create on the inside? How do we want to transmogrify to become something greater through this whole situation and all that? So basically it's saying that the choice is ours. The choice of the vision is not going to be handed to us from without. It's going to be handed to us from within, from the divine, the inner voice, you know, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And really, what this is ultimately going to culminate in is Father Sky and the bear being in Father Sky. This is ultimate healing. Again, continuation through healing. So this is really cool because of the fact that what this represents is basically saying that, yeah, we'll get through this. We got a lot of healing to do. It's painful. It's you know, a lot of stuff that we have to get through and all that, but we will get through it if we choose to, and if we choose to ignore the old paradigms, the old systems, the old shall I say this, media? Anyways, so, you know, but the fact is that over the next few years, we do have the chance to heal. Again, though, we have missed the starting gun. So we've got some catching up to do big time because the powers that be are really throwing it at us, and we've got to be that tree in the wind. How do we be that tree in the wind? Well, the 11 is the moose, and that is self-esteem. You know, right now, by the dehumanization of all these regulations, all these quote unquote guidelines, these draconian measures that we're running up against, is basically telling us, hey, we have a, you know, we have a gift here, and we are the gift. We are strong. We are, you know, we're not going to be the sheeple, as it were. We are human. You know, we are beings in a human experience, and in very powerful beings, making a very powerful human experience. Okay, so that's why the moose comes up, and that's why it's in such direction, is because of the fact that this is kind of a reminder of our self-esteem. This is kind of reminding us of our, you know, for lack of a better term, a divine right. Okay, so let's look at it east-west. We have seeking of the wisdom, purifying what doesn't, you know, cleaning house, what doesn't fit, what doesn't work for us anymore, and so forth and so on. This is ultimately for our own self-esteem. The north-south, talking about the opossum, talking about those little sabotages, the little subterfuges, and so forth and so on, and doing it because of the fact that we are resisting, because we are resisting for life itself. We're resisting for our own lives. We're, you know, in our own celebration, okay? And therefore, we are celebrating who we are, okay? Mother Earth, Father Sky, the choice of what we want to do, how we want to bring it into ourselves, and choosing how we want to heal. We want to heal because of the fact that we want to basically retrieve that part of our soul which has been stripped away from us, that has basically said, you are not, you know, the part of our soul rather that says we are worthy. Right now we've been told that we're not worthy. We need to be governed, you know, with iron fists and so forth and so on. And so therefore what's happening is that, you know, we're having to retrieve that part of that soul, and that's what Bear is ultimately here to help us to do, as well as Moose. Very powerful, totems. I mean, you know, if you're in the wild, you don't want to come up on a bear. You sure as hell don't want to get into a fight with a moose. And let me tell you something. For those of you who live out in the country, you can testify to this. Wild boars are not to be messed around with, nor are possums. So we've got a lot of power that's working with us here. Okay, and the turtle is very powerful as well. Okay, so what this is saying, and I'm going to go talk to you here on the screen. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. All right, go back over here and click on that window. Yes, no, maybe, perhaps. Let's see. Sorry, I'm still dealing with the intricacies of Zoom here, and it is not fun. All right, especially when it doesn't work and you're trying to put together a pretty decent video. All righty, come on. Nope, that doesn't work. How do I get screen sharing to go off? Okay. All right. Yeah. No. Cancel. Let's see. Screen sharing. Okay. All right. Go back over here. All right. And say, ensure. There we go. Haha. There we are. I'll just there we go. All right. So now I can talk to you directly here. All right. So having said all this, okay, we still got a chance, but really right now we are being kicked in the butt. Okay. So we are essentially, wow, that's interesting. The magically disappearing headphones. I think I need a better video camera. Anyways, what's that? Maybe a new laptop, something that's a little more powerful. Anyways, more expenses, but we'll deal with what we got right now. But the fact of the matter is that we are being, we missed the starting gun and we are behind. There's no question about it. But the fact of the matter is that we still have a chance to win this. We still have a chance to basically stand up and say, this is not right. We're not standing for it. And so therefore, you guys who want to put all these regulations on us and, rule our lives with an iron fist can, well, take the middle appendage and, well, go do something with yourself that's really not anatomically or physically possible unless you're a yoga instructor. Anyways, maybe not even that. But anyhow, if you really want a couple of subterfuge ideas, here's what I got to offer. Okay. When you have to wear a mask, okay, make sure your nose is above the mask, just above it. So that way you can clearly breathe through your nose. Don't breathe through your mouth, but breathe through your nose. Okay. That's number one. Now, if you're one of those socialites who is going to add to what is going to be known as the quarantine generation, and you might want to name your daughters media and your sons COVID, right? Okay, so there's a little code for you right there. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like it, please share it, subscribe to my channel. And if you want a reading, I am definitely here to be of service. Now, I just need to let you know that I am transitioning to new digs. This is my final video in these digs before I shut everything down, pack up, and move yet again. And so next week I will be in a new place and talking to you from there. So I will probably not be able to take appointments, at least for this week, probably not even into next week, but I am still here for you. I'm still able to serve, so forth and so on. It's just a little bit delayed. So anyways, having said that, it's an honor to give you the reading and to be of service. I know that a lot of you have enjoyed it. The feedback that I've gotten has been pretty phenomenal. So I'm going to continue to do this as long as possible, because right now, like I said, the starting gun is fired, and right now there's a lot of things that are being forced upon us in preparation for the next 6 months. And right now there's a big reset that's being planned. And with that said, we got to get our act together. We got to get our house in order so that way we can rise up and meet this and really add our own strength in order to just bring the BS to an end. Okay. So until next time, I will see you on the other side of the flip side. All right. So you guys take care, and I will see you again.